What's good, YouTube? What's going on? This is your boy, Tommy D from the Bronx, TD Sports Talk, live on a Wednesday night, right before Thanksgiving. Let's call it Thanksgiving Eve. And we're just going to go over some NFL today. I got a couple guys coming in today, running late, as usual. So I figured I started off. As you can see here, we started off with 2014 when the Seahawks were actually pretty good. And they went into San Francisco. And on Thanksgiving, the last time they played Thanksgiving football was against the 49ers in San Francisco in 2014, November 28th. And Seattle went in and beat the San Francisco 49ers. And the disrespect was crazy. As you see, Richard Sherman was eating that turkey right in midfield on the San Francisco logo, which is kind of messed up. So you figure a little bit of payback may be happening tomorrow, as now the San Francisco 49ers travel to Seattle in an NFC West division matchup for another Thanksgiving Day game. And it's in Seattle now, so you figure the tables could be turned, a little bit of revenge on the San Francisco's minds. Last year, they swept the Seattle Seahawks 3 games. That was including the playoff game in the first week of the playoffs. And the tides has turned. You know, as a Seattle Seahawks fan, you know we hate the San Francisco 49ers. I've been hating San Francisco 49ers for a long time because I know so many San Francisco fans here in the Bronx alone. So just imagine how many San Francisco fans all over the world, especially those fans from the 90s when they were good. You know, still looking for a championship since the 90s, I may add. But the tide has turned since the Russell Wilson trade. I think Russell Wilson was like something like 13-4 against the Niners. He had a crazy record against them. And since he's left, Seattle's 0-3 and San Francisco's 3-0. So tomorrow, looking to kind of turn the tides on them, and you know what I'm saying, and see if we could break that streak. In Seattle, Seattle has not been playing well, and it's very frustrating to watch the last few weeks. I've been complaining about Geno for quite a while now. And, he had a good year last year. He got paid, and he's not. I don't know if it's the confidence. He's not stepping in his throws. I don't know if it's the play calling. I think it's a little bit of play calling, but he's making bad decisions. He's forcing too many throws. He's missing throws. And it's a little frustrating as a Seahawks fan with all the talent they have on offense. So we'll see what will happen. Right now, let me look at the chat, see who's in right now. I see Mr. Shelton, a 49er fan. He says, Woogie Boogie. Yeah. Mr. Shelton always coming through and showing support with his clown theatrics. And we appreciate Mr. Shelton, even though he is a Niner fan. Jamie TV, thank you for coming through. Jamie TV always showing love. Appreciate you. We at Thanksgiving with the holidays. You know I'm going to come on and I'm going to start singing some Christmas carols soon. On your live. You know I'm going to do it. I have no shame. So pretty soon we're going to get to that stage where I'm going to start singing them Christmas carols. 88 Sports Talk, what's good, bro? Thanks for coming through. Thanks for showing support to the channel. Anybody's welcome to come up and talk. Today is strictly football today. Maybe some other sports, not really boxing. We're going to try and stick to football, stick to our picks, and recap, and maybe go over kind of like who we see making the playoffs, who's the Super Bowl contenders, who's the MVP, who's running for MVP. We're gonna touch base on all of that today, hopefully, as soon as my co-hosts decide that they want to hop in. Shelton again with the Woogie Boogie clown. Well, he's Tootsie. Yeah, that's. I'm starting to believe it. That is Tootsie. Talking about Geno Smith. So yeah, so I'm going to take this picture down. This was, like I said, 2014. The last time the 49ers played the Seahawks on Thanksgiving Day. It was in San Francisco. Seattle won that game. I forget the score. I think it was something like 17-7. It was a 2-score game. It was a low-scoring defensive game. I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me. But, as you see, Richard Sherman disrespecting. So I figured the Niners going to try to get some payback tomorrow. So, yeah, let me take this off because that was then and this is now. This is me. And I'm here live for you guys right now until the sock comes in and a couple other guys. Reno's supposed to come through too. I don't know if he is coming through, and D Free's supposed to come through too. So while I wait for these slackers that are pretty late, I'm going to go over last week's picks. Last week, D Free was out the week before. He missed it. He came back. He was looking bad. He's been on a bad streak. He was at 12, 14, and 1. He took his 3 picks. He took the Dallas Cowboys minus 10.5. That was an easy pick for him. They won clean. They won something like 33-10. But then he lost he took the Seahawks, and they lost to the Rams -1. And Seattle missed the field goal at the end of the game. That would have won and would have covered for D Free, but Seattle does what they've been doing, which is stinking up the joint. And then he took his team. He took the Washington Commanders, who were favored by 8.5. They lost outright to one of the worst teams in football, the New Jersey Giants. They were favored 8.5, and they got swept by the Giants. And so that brings D Free now to 13, 16, and 1. Socrates was in first place. He was doing well on his picks. A little bit of a struggle, especially last week. Last week he went 1-2. He was at 18-12. 1-2 brings his record now to 19-14. Not too shabby. Like I said, if you're taking his picks from week to week and you're putting $100 on each pick, you are in the plus. You are in the green. You have plus money. 19-14 is not bad at all. Last week he took the Chiefs -2.5. They lost on Monday night outright to the Philadelphia Eagles. He also took the Browns -1.5 against the Steelers. The Browns covered for him. That was the only win he got. They won 13-10. And then he took the LA Chargers, playing one of the worst teams in the Green Bay Packers. And the Packers won outright. I believe it was like 23-20 or 2017. It was a 3-point game. Either way, the Chargers were favorite, and they lost outright. So Sock now 19-14. Anthony Bolton was good. Salute, bro. And then I started off the season pretty bad. I was in last place. I am now a half game behind Sock. But when it comes to money, if you're putting $100 on it, I am now 18, 13, and 2. I have one less loss, one less win than Sock. So we're about even as far as money is concerned, as far as the bets. So 18, 13, and 2. I went 2-1 last week. I took Shelton's team, the San Francisco 49ers. And the 49ers, they were favored by 12. They won by, I believe, 13 or 14. So they barely covered, but a cover is a cover. So I won with that game. I took the Arizona Cardinals +6. I believe they lost by 5. And they covered. So by another 1-point game, and I still cover. And so a win is a win. And then I lost with the Vikings. The Vikings blew the game. They had a chance to win, and they lost to the Broncos outright. The Vikings were getting 2, and I believe they lost. Let me just double check the Viking game, because I think they lost by 3. So I lost by maybe 1 point. So all the games were pretty close. I have here the Vikings +2. So actually, that's a win for me. Actually, I went 3-0. The Broncos only won by 1 point. I don't know why I put that as a loss, but the Vikings on the road were getting 2 points to the Broncos. I'll double check that. I'll check the spreads just in case. So I'm actually 19-12. So instead of I'm 19-12-2. So that puts me in first place. Sorry, Sock. So I'm on a roll right now. That's 3-0. I think the week before that I went 2-1. So I'm actually in first place, 19-12-2. So if you're riding with my picks each week, you're definitely in the green, and you're definitely making some good money. So is Cash the douchebag goes. You ain't shit. You ain't shit. Anthony Bolton was good, bro. You ain't shit, Shelton. That's funny. You ain't shit. So yeah, this week we're going to cover the games. Like I said, they're missing, so I'm just going to get into it. I wrote some notes down. I did 3 games that I was going to cap and recap for you. I'm going to go with a surprise playoff contender right now, and they possibly have the rookie of the year. I'm going to say he is going to win the rookie of the year with C.J. Stroud. I'm talking about the Houston Texans. The Texans weren't as dominant and looked as good as they've been looking, but they won 21-16 over the Arizona Cardinals at home. Stroud again with another like 330 yards throwing, another 2 touchdowns. He did have 3 interceptions, and the Texans did not score a single point in the whole entire second half. They were shut out, but they still hanged on and they beat the Arizona Cardinals. The Texans now take on their home against the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're going to discuss this later when we go over the spreads. What's funny is Houston is getting, I believe, 2 points at home, and they already played the Jaguars, and they beat the Jaguars pretty bad. I think it was like 37-17. It was like 3 scores, and they beat them pretty bad at Jacksonville. So now they're playing at Texas, at Houston, and they're hot. I believe they're on a 3-game winning streak, and they're getting 2 points. That looks a little bit funny today. I mean, they should be favored. Why are they the underdogs? I don't understand that, especially the way CJ Stroud's playing. The rookie out of Houston, Tank Dell, is playing phenomenal. He had another 100-something yards and a touchdown last week. You know, he would be up there kind of like in the rookie of the year, but it's a no-brainer right now. CJ Stroud is having a phenomenal year right now. I'll just go over his numbers real quick. He's got over almost 3,000 yards throwing, 17 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. 3 of those interceptions were this past game. So think about that. 17 and 5, and 3 of them were this past game. So he would have been 17 and 2 without those 3 interceptions. That's pretty good. You know, in a year that the quarterbacks has not been doing too great as usual. You got some quarterbacks up there, you know. You got the normal. Patrick Mahomes is having a good year. You know, Jalen Hurts is having an MVP type year. You know, Russell Wilson's having a great year this year. I mean, let's not say great, very good year. I think they've won 4 in a row. I mean, he's managing the game well. He's not throwing for a lot of yards, but his quarterback rating, I believe he's like 3rd or 4th in the league. And his touchdowns is like kind of like 19-4, like 19 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. That's pretty damn good. Another notable name that's playing well at quarterback, you know, he struggled a few weeks ago. They were on a 3-game losing streak, talking about the 49ers. Brock Purdy, he's number 1 in quarterback rating, right? I mean, it's not that hard to throw screen passes. It's pretty much what they do. I know I sound like a hater, but look at the way that San Francisco runs their offense, right? And speaking of that, you know, when you talk about San Francisco offense, that's another MVP candidate there. Not Brock Purdy, but McCaffrey. McCaffrey's having a great year. He tied the record of touchdowns every week. I believe it was 15 or 16 games dating back to the previous year. So he's a guy that's up there in MVP, and we'll probably talk about that later when my guys come on. But I have 2 guys at the top of my head, MVP, 3 guys actually. The rookie of the year, CJ Stroud, which I think is going to be rookie of the year. He's also an MVP candidate, especially if the Texans continue winning. Then you have Jalen Hurts, who just went on the road and defeated the Eagles. Not throwing a lot of touchdowns, but he's running for a lot of touchdowns. I believe he has 15 throwing touchdowns and 9 rushing touchdowns, 24 touchdowns. His interceptions is higher than last year. I believe he has like 8 interceptions. But where would the Eagles be without Jalen Hurts? And then you can say the same for the Niners. Ever since that trade for McCaffrey, what would the Niners be without McCaffrey? And CJ Stroud, another guy I think is going to be up there MVP. Probably won't win it, but he'll definitely win the Rookie of the Year. Real quick, I see my man Ricky Williams. What's good, Ricky? Thanks for coming through. Appreciate you, bro. My man Jarrett from the Bronx in there on Facebook. What's good, Jarrett? Off topic. Who would win? Who would win between Kurt Angle and The Rock? Hope all is well. Hope all is well with you, Jarrett. What's good, Jarrett? Back in my long years ago in our Pathmark days, he used to work at Pathmark, and I used to work front end maintenance, and we used to wrestle during work like fucking idiots. But yeah, we used to go to wrestling events too back in the day. Also, but yeah, The Rock. You know, I'm going with Kurt Angle. I'm a Kurt Angle mark, so I got to say Kurt Angle beats him. It's true. It's damn true. Anthony Bolton, 49ers said, get the ball to Debo. Yeah, Debo's another big piece of the Niner offense, without a doubt. But he's been hurt. And, you know, a couple years ago, Debo was the man, right? He rushing touchdowns, receivers, he's doing everything. And he's doing a little bit of the same this year. But he can't, not over McCaffrey, especially he's been out. And speaking of last year and coming in late, look who's here. It's my man Sock with the Boston Bruins hat, and my man D Free is in the building. What's good, guys? I was just recapping last week's our picks.
Nah. You was up here talking smack. I heard you.
Yo, I didn't realize I went 3-0. I counted the Vikings as a loss, but they were getting 2 points. I'm gonna double check that, but I have them written down +2.
So they lost.
They lost, but they lost by 1.
No, one of your teams lost. One of your teams lost.
I had Arizona +6, and I had the Niners -12. I thought I lost to the Vikings, but the Vikings were getting 2. I'm gonna double check that.
The Vikings lost by 1. If the Vikings lost by 1, then yeah, you got that. I thought they might have lost by 3.
Let me see if it's still available. The slide. Hold on. Let me just double check because I could have sworn.
Because I was looking at it too. I was like, dang, he got that one.
The Vikings were. What does it say there? The Vikings are +2. Yeah, so I got that. I thought I lost that game, and then I had Arizona +6.
Okay, yeah.
I got lucky in all my games because pretty much everybody covered by 1 point. That's crazy.
Okay.
Everybody, because the Niners I think won by 13.
Your sorry team messed it up for me,
and your sorry team messed it up for you too.
But I was expecting to get one of those right. Y'all only had to win. Y'all was a 1 point underdog. I mean 1 point favorite. Y'all couldn't even win by 1 point.
You guys were favored by 8.5, and you lost outright.
Yeah, that's because my team turned it over. Your team had no excuse.
We had no excuse. Gino got hurt. Unbelievable. We missed a field goal at the end. But you got to be kidding. Y'all lost to the Giants twice.
Yeah. And I told you last week, if we lose, I'm picking against them every week. And I picked against them and to pick them. I'm a man of my word.
Watch them play phenomenal tomorrow against.
I hope they very well do. I hope they win.
What's going on, Sock?
Just cracking, guys. Happy Thanksgiving Eve.
Happy Thanksgiving, man.
Yep. Let me ask a question. Is that hat a sign of you giving up on football and now you're turning over to hockey?
Nah, just just gotta show my diversity as a sports fan.
The Bruins. How are the Bruins doing this year? I know last year they were good and they got bumped, but
so far they're picking up where they left off in the regular season. They had a big win today against the Panthers.
Okay.
So they were first place. They got the most points.
Okay.
But as you know, it's a long season.
Yeah.
Well, guys, so like I did the recap. We could do our picks in a little bit, but I started off. I recapped one game. I recapped the Cardinals and the Texans. The Texans won 21-16. I was talking a little bit about C.J. Stroud and the phenomenal year he's having, and the rookie receiver out of Houston, Tank Dell. I was talking about them. So I don't know where you guys want to go from there. I picked 3 games to recap. I don't know if you guys got any games you want to recap Week 11.
Well, the Texans. I mean, if they were in a bigger market, they're the biggest story of the league.
Yeah.
I mean, a rookie quarterback who obviously had a bunch of talent, right?
No.
That's why he was the number 2 pick overall. Rookie coach, and Stroud is just putting up numbers that are like Marino-esque, in such a short period of time.
I'm gonna read the numbers real quick. I went over it briefly, but I'll read it for you guys now. He's got 2,900 yards, almost 3,000 yards throwing, 17 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. And noted, he threw 3 this past week. So he's got 17 and 5. 3 of those interceptions was this past week. A QB rating of 99.3.
When we were doing the over-unders, weren't they like a 4?
I think so. I think the over-under was 4. And I don't even
know. Wrote it down. But I mean,
I got to check. That's a good point.
And if the season ended today, they'd be in the wild card.
Yeah.
And they got the Jaguars. They still play the Jaguars twice.
No, they beat the Jaguars already.
That's right. They beat the Jaguars. So they're what, 2 games out?
They're probably like 1 game out. I'll tell you right now. I have the standings up here. They're 1 game behind Jacksonville. So if they win, they'll be first place because they'll have the tiebreaker. Here's the funny part, and I guess, like I said, when we get to the picks, here's the funny. And I brought this up with D Free yesterday. Houston at home right now. They're playing at home against Jacksonville, getting 2 points at home against Jacksonville, a team they beat in week 3 or 4 by like 20 points. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And they're getting points. They're not even a favorite. I find that.
You know what's even crazier? My team only got 4 wins, and my quarterback lead the league in passing.
Yeah.
They've been playing from behind. That happens sometimes. When the team is, I mean, when you're trailing from behind, you get to throw the ball more.
No, it's not even from him playing from behind. He throws the ball more. They throw the ball more. Period. Like he averages 45 passes a game. They
Yeah.
don't even run the ball that much. Like the running backs, they average between the 2 running backs that we use, because it's usually only 2 that we use. We got 3, but we usually only use 2.
Yeah.
Between the 2, they average roughly around somewhere between 15 and 20 rushes combined.
Yeah, that's. I mean, right off the back, and they weren't playing behind in the game. Both games they were up. Actually, most of the game was the 2 Eagle games. He had a lot of passing yards. He had big games against the Eagles, and they weren't playing from behind. So there's a few games that he's looked good.
Yeah,
And
he's,
the defense hasn't really held up.
yeah, he's averaging like 300 yards a game. He got over 3,000 yards.
I think he's the league leader in yards thrown. I have to double check that.
I think he's a serviceable quarterback. I think if you built the team around him, I think he can give you some productivity. I mean, you guys had Kirk Cousins for a couple of years. You might basically have the next Kirk Cousins.
Maybe even better. I mean, this is the first year with Bieniemy too. So next year you got to expect them to be better.
Yeah, I think he'll be better than Kirk Cousins, because the one thing about him, he doesn't shy away from the moment. Like Kirk Cousins tends to tense up in the big moments. He doesn't shy away. Like even if he go out there and throw an interception, he ain't scared to put that ball in a tight spot. He'll still throw it right there in a tight spot and make a amazing throw. And you be like, damn, I ain't think he was gonna do that. So I mean, like Kirk Cousins, he'll throw an interception, and then you'll see Kirk Cousins start to check down every play for about 10 straight plays. He'll check down.
Yep. Big Texas, what's good, baby? Salute, bro.
I mean, this is basically a dress rehearsal for the Commanders the rest of the way. I mean, Rivera, I don't think it's coming back. Does Bieniemy take over?
Well, they saying Rivera has his own fate in his hands come 2024. So I guess they're going to give him. They're going to let him play out his contract, because I think next year is his last year on his contract. Okay. So I guess they're going to let him play out his contract, and whatever he do next year is going to decide whether he's going to get read up or if he's going to get let go.
Okay. So basically, they're gonna, they don't want somebody, to stay home, to get picked and stay home. So you figured, okay. I mean, Ron has a good resume,
Yeah.
But the one thing against him is his age. As you look around the league, it seems like the coaches are getting younger and younger. Everybody wants a trendy, offense. Ron is almost like a throwback coach. You can count the number of guys that are like him.
The coach that I think that's not going to be back next year is Jack Del Rio. I think he's going to be gone at the end of this year.
Now they traded Sweat and they traded Young. Who has stepped up in their place?
I'm not sure if they're going to go outside or if they're going to make his assistant as the defensive coordinator. Like either the linebacker coach or the defensive line coach. I'm not sure if they're going to pick one of them as the defense coordinator, or if Ron Rivera takes over the defensive calling. I don't know. But they got a few defensive assistants that can step in that position. Me personally, I want somebody that's going to call more blitzes, because it's like too many times we just let the quarterback just sit back there and have time. I'm like, you got to send a blitz. If your front line is not getting there, you got to send that extra man to disrupt the offensive line. Too many times we give quarterbacks time. Like this past week, we actually did good on defense. It was the offense that was giving up the ball. We had 6 turnovers. The defense got 9 sacks last week. So the defense did good. It's just it's like the offense and the defense don't play on the same page every week. Either the offense is playing good and the defense sucks, or the defense playing good and the offense sucks. They're not playing on the same page. So, but I do want a defensive coordinator that's going to call more blitz, because I I think I only see us blitz maybe 5 times, maybe 6 times a game. We don't blitz that much. We usually just let the front line try to create pressure, and we stay back in coverage. But when you got somebody like a Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, or Dak Prescott, and you give them time, they're going to find somebody open. You can't give those type of quarterbacks time. You got to disrupt their timing. If you give them time, that's what they thrive on. They thrive on making the timing plays, like especially like a Patrick Mahomes. Not that we played him, but he's that type of quarterback. All his plays is usually timing routes. He times
Yeah.
his receivers in their pattern. So you got to put pressure in his face so it disrupt that timing.
So at 4-7, give me a win total in your mind that keeps Rivera next year. They're 4-7 right now.
Yeah.
But how many wins is it going to take for Rivera to keep his job?
How many wins has Ron Rivera got since he's been with us?
No. How many wins the rest of the way will allow him to keep his job? They're 4-7.
I think they 4-7. They got 6 more games. He might come out of there with 3 wins. But like I said, I think they're gonna let him. They already know this season is over with, so I think they're gonna let him just go ahead and finish out his contract. Because to be honest, there's really no, unless you get somebody from college, there's really no big name head coach out there that you can get that's gonna be able to fit in. Now I heard talks of Bill Belichick, but I don't think they're going to get Bill Belichick.
Right, I heard that as well. If the dominoes of Belichick leaving, and then Vrabel would take over in New England, and then Bill may wind up in Washington, because I don't think Belichick retires. If he and the Patriots decide to part ways, I mean he's a lifer. Like, what's he gonna do? And he wants that record.
Yeah, he might end up over there with y'all.
I wouldn't be shocked. He
might end up over
there. But here's the thing. I think Pierce. The Raiders have 2 coaches that they're paying, and they're not in the building, right? And they're paying a lot of money to them. Gruden, and then of course McDaniel. So Pierce, the players are relating to him.
Yeah.
He's brought some life to the building, and not most importantly, but under the radar, he's going to be the cheapest option.
I think Pierce. He pretty much got his own fate in his hands.
Absolutely.
Depending on how he finished the season, if he finished the season well, like I think y'all got 7 games left. If he finished these next 7 games with a winning record, I think he probably keep his job for next year.
I agree. And the fact is, Mark Davis likes him because he could have elevated Graham, and he didn't. He took the guy that used to report to Graham. So that says something about him. And he's young. He's 46.
Yeah.
He said he's a lifelong Raider fan, and I think he brings that credibility of being a former player and being a good player. And being old enough and young enough to relate to these guys, that the guys that are in that locker room saw him play. They seen him
right.
the Lombardi Trophy, So he's just not, BS and talking about back in the day. Nah, this is what's up, and this is how you get it done. And I think if you build, he's going to have to get another offensive coordinator, somebody a little bit more seasoned. And I think obviously more talent, especially in the offensive line. And, that's what happens. The league is year to year. Free agency, injuries, you don't know. But I'm happy so far from what I see. Big test this week against the Chiefs. So you recapped, Tom, one game last week?
Say it again, sir?
Yeah.
You recapped only the one game, right?
I only recapped the one game. Real quick, shout out to you, Joseph Townsend. Thanks for coming through. He says Bill is on the way out. He can't relate to the players anymore. I don't know if he can't relate to the players anymore. I just think he needs a quarterback there.
Yeah, I just don't think they're good enough.
They don't have. They've been unlucky with 2 quarterbers so far. Like
that's the thing. He needs a quarterback. The Matt Jones, he's not that good. He's not that good. Like he had a couple of good games last year, but he's not that good. He remind me of Daniel Dimes. He could play good at times, but he's really not that good.
No, I don't think he's that good. I mean, he looked good when he had all them players and they were, dominating in college. All those, he had an all-star team,
Right.
So, I mean, but now you're in the pros, everything's faster. You don't have the receivers like you did in Bama. It's not the same.
He did have a good rookie year, especially in the second half.
It was decent. The second half, yeah, he won some big games. I think he upset. I think they beat Dallas was the big game.
They made the playoffs, right?
No, I don't think they made the playoffs.
No, they didn't make the playoffs.
No. They had the big game was against Dallas, I believe. I think they upset Dallas in overtime.
I'm sorry. Was it the second year that they got beat by the Bills? His second year. Because they were in the playoffs not too long ago. They got killed by the Bills.
I'm not sure what year it was.
His rookie year.
But I know Matt Jones never made the playoffs.
The Patriots, Joseph, the Patriots in the playoffs. Were you talking about 3 years? His rookie year? I don't think they made the playoffs.
I don't recall the Patriots being in the playoffs since Tom Brady left.
No. They played and they lost to the Bills, and they got killed by the Bills, 47-17 in 22. So the 20.
Mac Jones rookie year.
Yeah, I know. Right, they were 10-7.
I didn't even recall him making the playoffs.
Mac Jones rookie. Yeah, Mac Jones. He actually didn't play horrible. He was 2 TDs, 2 interceptions that day, 3 sacks. But the Bills had that was the year that they lost to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Even that year, that was still the leftover players that played with Tom Brady.
Yeah, but still, I mean, it's not like he was throwing to Randy Moss and Edelman. I mean,
no, it wasn't those guys, but he had veterans on his squad. Now it's like a lot of the people that's on the team are not they young guys. They a couple maybe a year or 2 older than him. There are a lot of young guys on that team.
Yeah, Aguilar, Jacoby Myers.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I don't think the game has passed Bill by. I think he just doesn't have a talented squad. Now he lost his best defensive player for
he did.
Judy, who's a beast. He's one of the best defensive ends in the league. So.
I can't with this guy. That's Milton Shelton. He's a clown. There's a video that he sent me. He's a clown. I'll send you the video later.
Hey, what's the next game you talking about?
That's I mean, we normally come on Friday, so this Wednesday. Do we stick a fork in the Bengals?
Well, that was another game I had.
Yeah.
So the Bengals, they lost 34-20 last Thursday. Lamar Jackson had a good game. He had 264 yards, 2 touchdowns, 54 yards rushing. And obviously the big moment of the game was Burrow exiting the game, and he's pretty much done for the year. He had 100 yards and he threw a touchdown before getting out for the.
That's the big loss.
He hurt himself on that touchdown play.
Yeah.
Now
apparently he was hurt. He was playing hurt.
Right, and the league is investigating them.
Yeah.
Because they didn't put up an injury report. I mean, that's what the NFL is about: 2 things: scheduling and injuries.
Yeah.
And it sucks. I mean, because Burrow's one of the great players in the league, and now it's time for them to start thinking about draft picks.
Yeah.
Salute to the Ravens.
So the Ravens. So let's talk about the Ravens. The Ravens are obviously, I think, a Super Bowl contender. Are they? I mean, well, I'm saying it, but I guess the question is contender or pretender? The Baltimore Ravens.
I say the same thing about the Ravens. I say every single year. If Lamar Jackson is in the playoffs, then they're good. They got a chance of making it to the Super Bowl. If Lamar Jackson is sitting on the sideline because he got injured at the end of the season, once again, they ain't going nowhere.
And that's fair. That's a fair statement.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, Ravens seem to. If there's a team that's resilient in terms of plugging guys in and out, is them. Because we talked about it the last show. They draft well. They have good depth. They lost Andrews, but then like we said,
Excuse me.
got the young man's name. Who's got talent? The backup tight end, likely.
Likely.
Yes.
He's very good. He's got game. Now it's just a matter of him, buckling down and doing what Andrews does.
Well, he's not going to do what Andrew does, but he's a little bit more.
He can stretch the field.
Yeah, he can stretch the field. He's more athletic.
Yeah,
and he's quick. He has good hands. I mean, he's a different type of tight end.
He's almost like Waller.
Utilized more.
He's almost like Waller, and ironically, Waller was originally a Raven. And couldn't get the roster.
Yeah, they likely remind me of a player like Waller or Aaron Hernandez. That's what he remind me of. He's a tight end with a wide receiver athleticism.
Mm-hmm.
What's good, Opulent LD? Thanks for coming through. We got Marky Dan coming to the stage.
Yeah, I'm with you, D. If Jackson is healthy, they go. There's no reason why they shouldn't be in the Final Four. I still, the best team until proven otherwise is the Chiefs. In the AFC at least. But Baltimore's right there. I mean, if you're gonna tell me you like Baltimore better than the Chiefs, I'm not gonna argue with you.
Yeah, but here's the thing: what I think about the AFC, it all might come down to matchups, because you got the Browns. The Browns are a solid team. They may look ugly, but the Browns match up pretty good with the Ravens, right? And then maybe the Chiefs might. This might be the year the Chiefs could be lucky. Not to say, because there's years I think they get lucky because of the refs, but they may avoid playing like the Ravens because maybe the Browns go ahead and bump the Ravens, and then the Browns play the Chiefs. It's like, it may come down to matchups. Certain matchups don't look good for certain teams.
They may have the best defensive player in the game,
Myles Garrett.
Yeah, I would say the Browns if they had Deshaun Watson, because that quarterback they got, I do not like him. I was watching him. I watched that game. He was throwing a lot of off-target throws. And if he's in there with a better defensive team or somebody like that likes to pick the ball off, like the Steelers, they're not known for picking the ball off. They're known for getting at the quarterback. Like the Ravens, they known for picking the ball off. Like they thrive on getting turnovers. That's how the Ravens play. They get turnovers. That's when they at their best. They rush the passer well, but that's not what they're known for. They're known for causing turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
And linebackers are tremendous. I mean,
Anthony Walton, it says.
Well, first up, fellas, what's good, man? How y'all doing?
What's good, Marky Dan?
Salute.
Yeah, man, I'm blessed. I'm out here on the water on a cruise, and I got to see my Eagles kick ass, bro. It just don't get better than this shit right here, bro.
See, we don't like arrogant people on this show, man.
Where are you cruising?
Hey, man, I'm feeling good right now. I ain't got shit to complain about in this world. How y'all doing, man?
I'm good. Hey, I told Shock and Thomas last week. I said if Philly beat Kansas City, I see them going roughly around 14-3 or possibly 13-4. I don't see too many teams left on the schedule that's going to beat them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, at worst, they're going to go 11 wins with the last 3 games.
Yeah.
So yeah, no.
Unless they have a complete collapse, I don't see them winning any less than 13 games. I just don't see them dropping below that win total. Not with the type of team they got.
Right now, they're what? They're
9-1.
9-1. So that's 10 games. There's 7 games left. We know they got a tough game at home versus Buffalo. They got to play the Cowboys again. They got to play the Niners. So that's 3 games. They play the Niners this year. I believe they still got to play the Giants.
outside of the Cowboys and the
Not
Niners, I think that's really the only two games on the
They got to
schedule that
go.
I look at
They
and
got to go to
say,
Seattle. They got to go to Seattle too.
Boy, anybody worry about no damn Seattle.
no, Marky. Marky, I got now, Marky. I gotta ask you something.
You guys ain't
Let's be
shit.
objective. Let's be objective. If
go ahead.
Scantling doesn't drop that ball, you have a whole lot of different. You don't have that much bass in your voice right now, right? I mean, because
Here's the thing. People keep saying, no. Hold on, let me finish. People
no,
keep
let
saying
me
that,
start.
when MV. I thought you were done. Okay, go
No,
ahead.
no. The Chiefs 23 first downs compared to the Eagles 16. They got more passing yards than you, more total yards. Okay, more rushing.
Hmm.
I mean, those are key drops. And then, hey, that's part of the game, right? Bad weather, But
Hmm.
let's face it, the Eagles are very fortunate to win that game. They're
I,
very
Uh,
fortunate.
I'm
I
gonna say
wouldn't
this
go as
real quick
far to call it. Yeah,
before
go
you
ahead.
go, Mark. I'm gonna say this real quick. See,
Go
I
ahead,
hear a
please.
lot of people say, "Hey, this team got more passing yards, got more rushing yards than this team, but that team won." You also gotta take in effect that the reason why they got more passing yards is because that team turned the ball over, so they had less field to work with. They didn't have to
Yep.
go as far to score.
They turned the ball over twice in the red zone. Once on that pick to Kevin Byard, and when Kelsey fumbled. But you said that if Marquez Valdez-Scantling caught that pass, that I wouldn't have as much bass in my voice. I still think we would have won that football game. We had three timeouts and 135 when that drop happened. I'm fully confident in my football team to come through that.
Okay. Look, you at the end of the day, what counts is the W.
But
But I mean, Kansas City basically put that game on a silver platter for you. I mean, you
I
can't tell
think
me
I
any
think when
different.
it comes to that game,
yeah,
the first half
but
was the different because the first half the Chiefs dominated the first half and the Eagles were lucky
yeah.
that the score was close. The second half was a different story. So I wouldn't say the whole game, but the first half by far the Eagles dominated the first half and they only kicked 17 points. So I mean, I think that was the
I think
difference.
it just came down to I think it came down to drops, and they just did not execute in the red zone when the Chiefs got down there.
Yeah,
That's it, bro.
That's been the
Like
whole
they just
Mahomes
didn't take
made some
advantage,
bad
and
throws.
we took advantage.
Yeah,
that's been their whole year.
yeah.
Kansas City not being able to
Yeah,
score.
basically, man.
That interception in the end zone was terrible. I don't know what he was looking at.
Yeah.
I told y'all the Chiefs was going to look different without EB this year. I told y'all they was going to look different
And you're
without
right,
EB.
bro. You're right. They
They
play
look terrible.
calling.
They should be running the ball more. They run the ball well, and then they just totally,
Yeah.
ignore the run.
Yep.
Hey,
because
this is.
because
I looked up this
Andy
stat,
Reid is
bro.
a passing Andy Reid is a
I looked
passing
up this
coach.
stat, D
Like
Free.
so,
This is the third game in a row the Chiefs got shut out in the second half. They
yeah,
got real problems. This ain't no quick fix that people trying to make it out to be.
no, it's because they don't have their offensive coordinator. I told everybody like, no, that's Andy Reid playbook. No, it's not. That's not Andy Reid playbook. That was EB's playbook. It and
Mhm.
you can see the difference in the offense. They don't. It's like they still trying to learn the playbook. It's not like they got it down packed. Like the ball doesn't come out of Mahomes' hand as fast as it did last year. Like last year, that ball was coming out his hand quick. Now it's more of him looking to see if his receiver is running the right route and they're going to make that cut on time. He got more. He's thinking back there more than he's just back there playing.
Well, but on top of that, two losses by the Chiefs, two home losses by the Chiefs,
Right.
and two home losses by the Chiefs because of big drops in the game. The first game of the year against Detroit, they were big
Right.
drops, and then
Hmm.
last night, Kelsey, who sure-handed, dropped an easy pass, and then obviously
And the
the touchdown.
fumble.
Those things
Mhm.
happen, but they got to be pointed out, and they were
Mhm.
at home as well. They
Right.
were not on the road. They were both home
And the
losses.
other drop.
Yeah, I don't know what they do at this point because you already passed the trade deadline, and everybody said this would happen. Everybody said their lack of talent in their skill position group would bite them eventually. Like at this point, they gotta. I mean, Jarvis Landry is a free agent out there. Maybe you could bring him in for a workout. Shit, I don't know, bro. I don't know who they get at this point.
They
They're
wanted
screwed.
Mahomes wanted this kid Rice, and they're not using him. That's who they wanted to draft. That was who Mahomes
Right, that's
wanted,
true.
and they drafted the kid for him, and they're not even using the kid.
The thing is, I don't even know why they went and got MVS, because MVS was dropping passes when he was in Green Bay. That was the reason why they let him go. He couldn't catch nothing in Green Bay. Yeah. That's the reason why they let him go. So I don't even know why they went and got him. Like, he was a big time receiver.
They were in a desperate situation, man, because what was happening with the Chris Jones thing is that I think unless they extended Chris Jones, they didn't have no cap space at that time, so they couldn't go out and get DeAndre Hopkins like everybody was trying to say they could go do. They were basically destitute, and I don't even understand that shit because I mean they're not paying Pat Mahomes at market value. Travis Kelce's being paid under market value. I don't understand that shit. How they can't bring in talent, especially from the open market.
They had to pay that daggone defensive lineman.
Well, they've been trying to get these athletes that kind of like look like Tyreek Hill, but you can't replace a Tyreek Hill. That's why they took a chance on Tony because he's very athletic, but the guy can't stay healthy, can't catch a cold, And then they thought this kid Rice was another guy that kind of could be like him, but they're not even using him. So,
but Thomas, let me say this: this season, I think it's a wash for the Chiefs. I just don't think they're going anywhere with the current skill position group they got. But next season, with this defense that's young, when they get another year under their belt, and if they can go pick up, because it's a couple good receivers that I like in this coming draft, like Zachary Franklin out of Ole Miss. He's a real talented guy. If they can get Pat Mahomes a weapon, this team is going to be. This could be the fucking 85 Bears, my nigga. I don't care what nobody say. That team will be so fucking dominant on both sides of the ball.
Well, let me ask you something. You counted dismissing them already this year. Who beats them in the NFC this year, if not the Ravens?
Right.
Who beats them?
Shoot.
Personally, I don't think nobody beats them but the Ravens.
That's it.
Yeah, I'd have to agree, especially if they have home field advantage.
Ravens could get there because a couple of things. Deep Free brought up one, and I brought up the thing with the matchups, And then you have the Dolphins, who they beat the Dolphins already this year. Who else? You have Houston, maybe Jacksonville. They beat Jacksonville this year already too. I mean, who beats them in the AFC? That's the question. The Ravens?
Yeah, and the thing about it, Thomas, man, their defense has been suffocating those teams. They held Jacksonville to 7 points. Miami shut them out in the first half, held them to 14 points.
Yeah.
Like, whatever we say about their offense, bro, their defense can carry them. They just need a weapon out there.
Anthony Bolton says if the Chiefs want to have a potent offense under that scheme, they need a legit number one receiver. Correct, because as far we know pretty much Kelsey's a number one receiver, but he's a tight end, so he's not.
He's beat up.
He's number one target, and he is beat up. He's got a lot of miles on him too. So
and he's been talking about retirement.
I agree.
He's getting that Pfizer bag.
Any other game? I got another game I wanted to recap real quick.
See it in the.
We might as well recap because they play tomorrow. They play every Thanksgiving. We're talking about America's team, the Cowboys. I know a lot of people don't like the Cowboys. I think Anthony.
You're not gonna recap no more.
No. I'm recapping the Cowboy game.
Oh, okay.
So last week,
did we already get the other Thanksgiving matchups?
No, we just recapped
week 11. What the hell's the recap?
Oh, my bad.
You guys, the Cowboys beat the Panthers 33-10. What I want to point out is the play by Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott's played well ever since the Niner game, right? He's got, I believe he's got 14 touchdowns, 16 total. That's including 2 rushing, and only 2 intos since the 49er game. Overall, he's 19 touchdowns, 6 intos. He's played well. CeeDee Lamb has played well also. I'm going to read his last 5 games: 117, 158, 181, 151. And then last week was the worst game. He had 38 yards, but he did have a touchdown. He's got 5 touchdowns since the Niner game. What I'm trying to say is, I know the Cowboy fans get hyped. I'm not a Cowboy fan, so I'm not getting hyped. But you got to know that since that Niner game, they played well. And Dak has played pretty damn good. And that's a threat to the Eagles because it's still a division rivalry game. And I know you guys beat them in a close game. So that's something to look out for. I mean, The Eagles are not going to run away with it. Somebody's going to step up to the plate and give them a challenge. So,
man, they're gonna do what they always do. They're gonna fuck around and fly high, and then all of a sudden, Washington gonna beat them on Thanksgiving, and every Dallas Cowboy fan is gonna throw up all their turkey. That shit gonna go bad. They ain't gonna eat it until next week.
Hey, that'll make my day tomorrow if you can make it happen, D Free.
But I want to point that out, and and give the Cowboy fans a little bit of hope, because the reality is that they have been playing well, no matter who they're playing against. I know the Chargers kind of blew that game, but ever since the Niner game, they played well, and they lost a close game to Philly, which is pretty much the best team in football. So, give Dak some props.
And I do want to give Dak credit because he's been playing out of his mind. It's just hard to do when, and I hate to say it, but it's hard to do when you look at the opponents he's been playing, bro. Like, come on now.
I
The Giants, the Panthers,
Cowboys, no credit.
Yeah, but you got it.
Let me see this shit. I'm sorry, bro. And I don't want to do it to Dak because I actually like Dak. It's just that these niggas so much. Talking about he's an MVP, man. Come on, bro.
But the Eagles play the same teams.
Well, let me pull up this schedule.
That is
true. The same schedule.
Man, we beat the Dolphins, Cowboys, and the Chiefs. Get out of here.
Yeah, but you guys still play the Giants twice also. So just like the Cowboys, you still play Washington twice, just like
but I'm just saying, if at this point that's all they played, Thomas, that I can't how much credit can we give them if that's all they've beaten at this point?
They still play. They play the Chargers, right? You guys play the Chiefs. They play the same
That's
schedule.
4-6, Thomas.
But except 3 games, bro. You can't shit. You cannot time out. You cannot shit on the Cowboys schedule when you play the same schedule for 14 games.
Right.
This what I want to know.
If you want to critique the Eagles, I mean the Cowboys is how they play against San Francisco. They were embarrassed.
Yeah. I'm just calling it the way it is, man. You can't, they play. You guys get to play those same teams. Only thing is,
and that's another thing. The first 2 times they play some good teams, they get bum rushed by 49ers, and then they just don't win against us. And that was some bullshit, man. Dak had it right there. He had an opportunity to win, and he didn't get it done, bro.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I can't put them. I put them top 5, but I can't. Like, people saying that they're a Super Bowl contender and they got all this momentum. Get the fuck out of here, my guy. Like, I'm just not buying it.
You need at least 3 or 4 teams in each conference. That's all it is. I mean, you're sounding like a Homer Eagle fan, and rightfully so. You guys are the NFC defending champions, but you're basically saying that it's the Eagles and nobody else. That's what you're saying right now. There's nobody else in the NFC.
No, but I'm
Eagles. You're not mentioned. There's no other team.
No, I just said the Cowboys ain't in that shit. Don't twist my words, bastard. I said the Cowboys ain't shit.
What other teams are there in the NFC that are contenders?
The Niners, the Lions, and that's it.
Okay. So it's only 3 teams in the NFC.
Come on, man, Thomas.
I can't really argue about that because if we look at the history of Dallas makes it to the playoffs and they lose in the first round every year.
Yeah, when they play the Niners. So
sometimes,
and they might be playing the Niners
exactly.
again if they make it to the playoffs.
I understand.
Yep, because Seattle just lost and gave them back the division lead.
Yep,
and we're about to lose like 3 more in a row, 4 more in a row. Fuck my life. Yep, we play the Niners.
Yep, so that's gonna be a first round deletion for Dallas. They're gonna be right out of there.
I can't wait till the Eagles lose in the playoffs. I'm going to think about you, not only just Brett, because you've been talking a little too loud, right? But rightfully so, right? Rightfully so.
So the victor goes to spoil, right?
So,
yeah, man, things going real well for me right now.
I hope so too, Anthony. I hope so too. Any other games you want to recap before we go into our picks?
No, I'm good.
I think we have
I'm straight.
The Broncos. The Broncos have turned their season around.
I started talking about Russell Wilson a little bit and his season he's having. Yeah, the Broncos.
The Vikings were hot.
The Broncos,
and they got a chance to make the playoffs. 5-5.
If the Broncos can make the playoffs, Sean Payton deserves another Coach of the Year, hands down. Because I thought this team was dead. You take a team that lost by 70 damn points, or they got beat by 73 or whatever, and you bring them back. I mean, shit. I got to give it to them, man.
What's going on, quickly?
And they were 1-4.
I would say that Sean Payton will get Coach of the Year, but if Houston makes the playoffs, I got to give it to that coach because Houston been the bottom of the league for
he's got that
6-7 years.
Ryan has that.
Yeah.
Ryan's.
Yeah.
He has to.
Yeah, I gotta give it to him because Houston been at the bottom of the league for like 6-7 years straight. So if they make the playoffs, I gotta give it to him.
Coaching job?
Yeah, with a rookie QB.
Yeah,
definitely.
I gotta give it to him.
Thanks for coming through, Quick.
Yeah.
Salute.
And he's doing it with
he's definitely for the AFC Coach of the Year. Absolutely.
Yeah, and he's doing it with a rookie quarterback. And I mean, Denver having a good season, but they got a veteran. He has a rookie.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got a Hall of Famer.
That's a young team. That Houston team's young. He got a rookie wide receiver who's played well. Tank Dell's a rookie. He's a rookie too out of Houston.
Mm-hmm.
And he's having big games the last 3 weeks. He's got his numbers is pretty crazy. I got him here.
The only real established guy they got over there is Dalton Schultz and Nico Collins. If you want to call him established, I guess.
Yeah, and he's having a good year too until he got hurt. Right? Yeah. So Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Schwartz is a good tight end. He complements them. I mean,
huge game coming up.
Who they got as their running back?
Pierce.
They got Damian Pierce and Singletary.
Singletary's played well.
Oh yeah, Singletary.
Yeah, they got a cold backfield, bro.
Pierce is hurt. Yeah. Pierce hasn't played in a few weeks.
That's what I'm about to say. I know Singletary is starting now because Pierce is not in.
Yeah.
And when Pierce comes back, that running game is just going to be that much better because Singletary came in and he's been balling.
Yeah. He had I wrote down his stats here too. He had 112 yards and a touchdown this past week.
Yeah, I know Buffalo. Like, damn, why we ain't play him more?
Because they don't like to run the ball, Buffalo, unless they run it with fucking Allen.
They don't run the ball at all.
Well, Cook ran the ball great against the Jets.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
What an egg the Jets laid, that defense.
But that was the Jets. I mean, the Jets.
Wow.
Where do y'all see the Bills really going at this point? Are they a wild card team? Do you think that they can challenge Miami for the division at this point? Where do y'all see them at the end of this season?
If they don't win this week, they might make a wild card. I don't think they're going to challenge Miami. They might make a wild card though.
Well, they still got them one more game, right?
They still got to play.
Hey, you know what I just thought about too?
Yeah.
You know what I just thought about?
What's up?
I was watching Monday Night Football, and I saw a weird stat. Washington is still in the hunt for the playoff with 4-7.
They are.
Yeah, because the Vikings lost. Be free, y'all still in the hunt.
No, everybody that's in the hunt only got 4 wins. They only got 4 wins, so I'm sitting there thinking like, damn, our season is over, but we're actually still in the hunt for the playoffs.
And you got a team like Seattle at 6-4 that they got a 4-game stretch now. That's crazy. And Seattle got to play the Niners, the Cowboys, the Niners again, and then the Eagles. That's 4 straight games.
Do y'all like the 7th playoff spot? Do y'all really like it at this point? Because I just feel like
I like it because
it's just an automatic exit spot. Like I don't think I've heard about it. 7th seed going anywhere.
I like it because it's only one bye. One team gets a bye, and you got to
not necessarily.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
because what if that team that's in the 7th spot do like the Giants did the year that they won the Super Bowl against New England? They come in the playoffs hot. And they just run through the playoffs.
That's good. It happens. They're not the only team.
That would be cool, man. But
did the Raiders?
That would be cool.
The Raiders did that too. They were like the last.
More than likely, the team that's in the 7th spot is going to
be. We've seen teams with the low seed.
In 81, when they beat the Eagles.
Yeah, more than likely, the team that's in the 7th seed is going to get beat in the first round. But It doesn't always happen like that.
No, it doesn't. Because you
But
know why?
sometimes-
What happens too is that you might get a division matchup, and
Right,
division
right.
matchups are tough when you play in a
Yeah.
team in the division that know each other. I mean, it didn't work out last year, as we know,
Right.
but Seattle was up at halftime in that game, so
Yeah.
it was close until third quarter, whatever. But you know what
Playing
I'm
that
saying?
team 3 times.
Yeah. And the Eagles Giants wasn't close at all.
I'm just saying it can happen. It didn't happen, but
Yeah. I actually like the 7 seed. I mean 7 teams in the playoff. Because it gives teams more of a confidence to try to make the playoff. Because when it was 6 teams, you knew it was the 4 division champions,
and 2
and
wild
then
cards.
the 2 teams that's behind them with the next best record. But
And-
now
and-
that
and
you
I
got
think-
that extra spot,
And I think it stops a little bit of the tanking.
yeah,
Because a lot of teams are still in the race, like, with 3-4 wins, you still got a shot, especially with the 17 game now. I think it's good because I think it stops the tanking.
and you know what I think they also did that too, because you had some teams that was like 11-6 and didn't make the playoffs, or 10-6 that didn't make the playoffs, and they were like, you know what, we got to put another spot here because we got a team. And you got a team like when we went to the playoff, we were 7-9. We went to the playoff 7-9. We won the division at 7-9, and then you had a team that was sitting at home that was I think they was 10-6 or they was 9-7, and they were sitting at home.
All right, real quick before we get to the picks, let's do this. Let's pick. I don't want to do Super Bowl contenders because we already know pretty much the Super Bowl contenders. But let's pick our MVP, offensive player, and defensive player of the year.
Okay.
Well, my vote for MVP right now is Jalen Hurts.
Okay, Marky Dan is probably gonna say the same thing.
Yeah. Same thing. Yeah, he's just been playing big boy football this year.
Sock.
You know what? I don't really have one on the offensive side. I'm gonna go with my guy in the Browns.
Myles Garrett?
For
Yeah.
MVP, not defensive player. So that means defensive player of the year and MVP.
Yeah, I
I
don't
think
think
he's MVP is going to be defensive
Now-
player of the year too.
the best QB play is Stroud by numbers.
Yeah,
You know, I don't think he's gonna win it because Hurts hasn't had a great season, and neither has Jackson in terms of great. It hasn't been a great year for QBs. In my opinion, I think the guy that could be the dark horse could be McCaffrey, especially if the Niners win the division. And he's
That's
gonna be
my
a big part
MVP
of it.
right now. My MVP is
Yeah.
McCaffrey right now. Now,
Yeah.
mind you, this is just as of right now. Obviously, we got like 6-7 more games with teams, but I like McCaffrey because I look at it as if I mean you can say the same for all the guys you just mentioned, but if you take McCaffrey out that lineup out of that since the trade,
Right.
they're not the same team. They'll win games, but McCaffrey has been a huge boost to that offense.
Yeah.
See,
That's-
that's where I'm different.
He tied the record for touchdowns in a row, like each game.
And see, that's why I'm different with you, because the 49ers can still win games, but if the Eagles take Jalen Hurts out, I don't even know who the backup is. I don't think they win another game without Jalen Hurts.
And that's fair. I think that's fair.
No, they're not gonna win with Mariota or the rookie.
Oh, it's
But
Mariota. Yeah,
the reason why I have Jalen Hurts up there, man, is no, he ain't no. But the reason I have Jalen Hurts up there is because, man, like last year, one of the key reasons people said he couldn't win the MVP is because he was being carried by his team. This team is nowhere near as dominant as last year. And if you watch the games, it's because of our quarterback that we're winning. Like, and if you look at his numbers, like, yeah, the interception total is higher from last year, but I don't really think it's as bad as people. Well, nah, turnovers are bad no matter what. I'm not even gonna try to excuse that. But if you look at his numbers, he was top 5 in completion percentage, 6th in passing touchdowns, 6th in QBR, and I think he was 5th in passing yards before the bye. So I just think his numbers on top of our record, he's gonna win the MVP. That's just what it's gonna be.
Well, usually the quarterback does get it. I mean, the thing with Hurts is that offensive line helps them in what they do. especially running the ball. Those running plays,
Absolutely,
those running plays, it's not broken plays. Those are designed run plays for Hurts. So and Swift has run the ball well too in spots. So, but yeah, I mean, it's no argument for me.
Can I? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Can I rescind my vote? I'm going to go Tyreek Hill as my offensive player of the year.
Okay.
My MVP. I think Tyreek Hill is the best player in the league. I think he's the most dominant player. He's a difference maker.
I like him as offensive player of the year, but not MVP.
His numbers are crazy.
His numbers are crazy, but
ridiculous.
I don't know about MVP. It's hard for a receiver to win MVP. But
I could see him. I could see him. It's going to be between him and McCaffrey for offensive player of the year.
Yeah.
I could see that 1A, 1B, however you want to put it. I could see either one of those guys. I know it's going to come down to either one of those guys. As long as they stay healthy, it's going to come down to one of those two guys getting an offensive player of the year.
I think, whoever gets the most touchdowns probably overall.
Probably.
I think that's who it's going to be. David Rosario, thanks for coming through. You playing football tomorrow? He says Dak is a dark horse. I mean, as far as the dark horse is concerned, yeah, why not? I mean, like I said, since the San Francisco game, he's played phenomenal, Dak. I mean, and I can't take nothing away from him. I know the competition has not been, as solid, but you play who's on the schedule. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
How many interceptions Dak Prescott got?
I think he has.
I think like 5.
I wrote it down here. He's 19 touchdowns throwing and 6 intros. I didn't write down his rushing touchdowns, but his last 5 games, 14 touchdowns, 2 intros, and 2 rushing touchdowns. 16
How many
interceptions in
interceptions?
5 games.
How many interceptions he got?
He's got 6 overall.
Okay.
Yeah, 16, 19, and 6. Dak's numbers is pretty solid. Now, mind you, he's got 4 against the Giants, right? And then I forgot the other team he got like 4 against. But
yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah.
I think he got like 3 against us or 2.
Yeah. How many yards he threw for?
In those games, I did not write it down, but his total yards he's thrown for 2,600 yards this year.
Okay.
Which is behind Stroud. Stroud's at 29, and I believe your guy Howell has more. He's got over 3,000 yards, I think.
Yeah, he got Howell got 3,000 some change. Matter of fact, I got it right here. He has 3,039.
I forgot to write down his quarterback rating, but
but
Dak's quarterback rating has been pretty good too.
Yeah, Sam Howell got 3,039, 18 touchdowns. What's killing him is his interceptions. He got 12 interceptions. That's what killed Sam Howell, his interception. Because if you can cut those interceptions in half, he will be having the best quarterback season right now.
By far.
But you got to get him an offensive line first, D3. Like that, because that's what it comes down to, pressure.
That's the thing. Like the offensive line we got is a bunch of rejects from other people's teams. We have one guy that we actually drafted. Everybody else is a reject from somebody else's team.
David, who
ain't that some shit? You invested in that defensive line all those years, then you trade 2 of them motherfuckers, and now you just stuck with a bad offense.
We traded Chase Young because they didn't pick up the 5th-year option on him, and so he was going to be a free agent anyway at the end of the year. So they said instead of letting him go, they wanted to get something in return. I don't know why they traded Montez Sweat. That's the one that has me lost, because Montez Sweat was having a consistent year after year. He was putting up 10 sacks damn near every year.
Yeah.
I don't know why they got rid of Montez Sweat. So that was the one that had me lost. But I knew.
But going forward, y'all gonna have to invest in our offensive line instead of the D line, especially when you look at how the Eagles are looking right now. The offensive line is a focal point for our team over everything else, bro.
When Chase Young came back and he got hurt again last year, I knew his days was numbered.
I want to see Howell in a good situation, man.
I think Sam Howell will be in a better situation next year because they know that they got to get a better.
Yeah, man. I want to see Howell in a good situation, bro.
Like literally, all they really need, to be honest with you, is an offensive line. They got decent running backs. They got good receivers. The the defense is not bad. It just they on the field too long. So I think they gotta invest in the offensive line. I want to see our first two picks to be an offensive lineman. I don't care about getting no receivers, no running backs, no defensive linemen, and none of that. I want to see them get two offensive linemen the first two picks, because I think we got four. Then we got 4 picks in the first 2 rounds.
Well, all right, guys. Before we go to the picks, I just want to mention one more team. To be fair, this is a sports talk show and this is a football show, and I know I have bias because I can't stand the 49ers. But since the trade for Chase Young and that defensive line, do the Niners have a realistic chance to beat the Eagles in the playoffs?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Absolutely.
You give Nick Bosa some help on the other side. You can't double team Nick now.
Yeah.
And
you have to say they at least have a chance, man. You can't say they don't have a chance, but I don't see them beating the Eagles.
At home, I think the game.
But to your question, yes, absolutely.
Philadelphia winning this game on Monday was huge. Home field advantage for the Eagles is big. I mean, to me, that's the difference between the Eagles and the Niners, where that game is played.
Yeah. And they play each other one game this year. I don't even know where the game is at, but
it's at the Link. It's in Philly.
It's at Philly, and the game that's still the Eagles will have a cushion because they have a 1-game lead on them. But it's very interesting. The Niners, the weak part of the Niners is secondary. The secondary is trash. I mean, the safety's pretty good, but he can't cover nobody, right? They cannot. You can throw on the 49ers, but then again, you need time to throw the ball.
Right.
But then
now the safety is out.
Secondary is bad, bro. And I'm not even hating. Their secondary is probably one of the worst in the league. So, but that's how you beat the Niners. But you need time, and their front seven is pretty solid. But fuck the Niners. Let's go to our picks. I wanted to be fair. Right? It's a sport. It's a talk show, right? I wanted to be fair. I don't like the Niners, but they're a good team, and they're a Super Bowl contender. Not like my team that's a pretender. All right, so we did it. We're doing it early because we have 3 games tomorrow, and we usually do 3 games. Marky Dan, you could chime in if you want. I'll go over the standings real quick. In third place is D Free. He's at 13-16-1. He missed a week, so he's only got 30 games. This is up to week 11, so everybody's got 33 games except for D Free. Sock is now in second place. He's at 19-14. And I am in first place. Huh?
Who's in first?
I don't know. Who's in first? First place at 19-12-2 is moi, is myself. And I haven't done it in a while, so might as well try to just throw it in there. It's been a minute.
I knew you was gonna do it. I
haven't done it in a while.
I knew you was gonna do it.
My man Barry Horowitz pats himself on the back. I haven't used it in a while. All right. Excuse me. All right. So, being that I'm in first place, I haven't gone first in a minute, and I haven't even looked at the lines. I mean, I've looked at some of the lines with the picks. We did the picks yesterday, but yesterday's just win and losses. So I saw some lines. The one that strikes me the most is Houston and Jacksonville. Let me go to that line. I just don't understand it. I don't get it. Houston getting 1.5 and they beat the Texans already, and they're at home. Honestly, I don't get what Vegas is doing. I always think they do this to trick you. Anybody would just say, take the Texans. This is the easy play. And they're on fire. They won 3 in a row. Jacksonville looked good last week, but the week before they got killed by the Niners at home. It's a tough game. With that being said, I'm not going to take that game now as my first pick. My first pick is going to be, I really think this is going to be a close game. I'm taking the Commanders plus 13.5. It looks, is that 13.5? Let me just make sure. I can't see it. Commanders plus 13.5. against the Cowboys. I think 13.5 is too much. I know the Cowboys are rolling. The Commanders kind of been inconsistent, but it's a rivalry game. It's a short week. Howell's played good against the good teams. I'm going to take the Commanders getting 13.5 points. They don't have to win the game. They just got to cover. So I'm taking Commanders plus 13.5. Sock, I'll give you the option to go second or pass it to D Free.
Nah, I'm gonna shoot the rock. You know what? The game that stuck out to me is the first game of Turkey Day.
The Lions.
The Lions. I mean, I said all year the Packers were ass. They got 4 wins. I don't know how. They're
He
playing
said the
better,
Packers are
which I
ass.
love. Detroit might. I have 8 points. 7.5. The line dropped. I think Detroit's just a better team. Playing at home,
Mm-hmm.
place is gonna be bumping, right? Like Charlie
Yep.
Murphy said, right?
That
And
is bump.
I mean, Detroit is really thinking Super Bowl this year, you know. So I got the Lions winning big.
All right. D Free, you're up for 2 picks.
Let me see the next slide.
Yes, sir. I'll go to another one. It's a lot of games this week. I think it's 16 games. Everybody plays this week.
Go back real quick.
Yes, sir.
I think I'm gonna go with Denver.
Denver's a hot team. Where's Denver at? Denver minus 1.5 against the Cleveland Browns.
That's minus 1.5.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Denver minus 1.5.
Okay, and you're up for another pick. That's going to be Sunday afternoon at 4. We got 3 games tomorrow, 1 game on Friday.
What about the Colts? They had minus 2.5 against the Buccaneers. You don't see them pulling something because they're at this point in this season they're actually a pretty good team. I think they're like 5-6 or 5-5 at this point.
They have yes, they played well. I've picked them a couple of times on the show. How about
2.5? They got
Leonard getting cut? That's a big story.
Who?
Yeah, I kind of like them. I kind of like them, but I don't have faith in their quarterback. Like if they had Richardson back there, I would pick them. I don't really have faith in their quarterback.
Minshew?
Anybody with a mustache just as long as his hair, I don't really trust them that much.
Well, they are coming off a bye week, so
yeah, they are. Let me see the next slide real quick.
Yes, these are the late games and the Monday game.
Raiders plus 8.5. Where are they? Are they playing at the Chiefs?
No, in Vegas.
Yeah, in Vegas. I was looking at that too.
And the Raiders have been hot recently.
I think the Chiefs is going to win, but I think the Raiders might cover that 8.5. And then you got the Ravens minus 3.5.
I would take that Raiders, especially when you think about the fact the Chiefs have been shut out 3 games in a row in the second half.
I'm about to go with the Ravens. I'm about to go with the Ravens minus 3.5.
So Baltimore minus 3.5 Sunday night game. And honorary mention, we're going to put Marky Dan. He said he really liked the Raiders today. So anybody's listening, he loves the Raiders plus 8.5. But Sock, it's on you now. Where you want to go?
Yeah, I got them to cover.
You know what? I'm going to go with the home team coming off the bye. I picked them twice on the show. I've been 2-0. I'm going to go with the Colts.
So Sock is taking the Colts. He agrees. Right? He agrees with Marky Dan.
Yeah,
Colts minus 2.5 over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That will lead to me now for 2 picks. And I saw a game that I liked. Hold on, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I'm going to take the Titans minus 3.5 at home versus the Carolina Panthers.
That's a good pick.
And I like to do this every week too. I like to take that game that looks funny. So I see two games that look funny. We already talked about one. That Philly game, only 3.5 favorite at home versus Buffalo. After a big week, I guess Vegas is saying that they're gonna have a letdown week. Only
No,
three and a
no,
half.
I think they're on the road. They at Buffalo.
No, it's at Philly, bro. It's right here. I'm telling you. That's why I said it. That's why I said it looks funny. If it was at Buffalo, I would say something. That's what I'm saying. 3.5 at home. It looks funny to me. I think Vegas is trying to tell you that they're gonna have a letdown. In cases like this, I like to go the other way and take Buffalo, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go the other way in the Jacksonville game, and I'm going to take the Jaguars in a funny spread, and I'm going to take the Jaguars minus 1.5 versus the Texans. That line looks too funny. It looks almost too easy for Houston. I mean, it should be a close game. It's a division game. But Houston smoked Jacksonville early in the year by like 3 scores in Jacksonville. Now they go to Houston. Mm-hmm. Houston's won 3 in a row. Why are they getting points? I'm not going to fall for it. I'm taking Jacksonville.
Yeah. And I think Jacksonville, they realize that they cannot lose 2 games to the Houston Texans and expect to win this division. So they're going to be coming out firing.
The division's up for grabs. The Colts are right there too. The Colts are 5-5. So they're only 2 games out.
Yeah,
most important game of the week.
Yeah,
yeah.
So
that's a game they gotta have.
I mean, I really hate to pick them, but I gotta go with the Steelers, who I think are frauds. I mean, the Steelers have won a lot of games, that they weren't supposed to, but they're playing the Bengals without their QB. That's a nice number at 1.5. Give me the Steelers.
Steelers on the road minus 1.5 versus the Bengals. I like that backup quarterback. That backup quarterback is not that bad. I mean, I know it's going to be his first start, but he is going to be at home. It's not like it's going to be in Pittsburgh. He played with the Huskies. He was touted to be a top first, second round guy, and he dropped. I mean,
I wouldn't mind losing that game.
Yeah.
What's his name, Thomas?
Browning. Browning or Downing? Browning, yeah. He played with the Huskies. He played with Washington. So he's not that bad, and they still got weapons around him. So I like the kid, but I'm not touching the games. Sock did, and he took the Steelers. So, D-Free, you're up for your
Okay, I'm going to look out for it. I'm not going to throw no aspersions on him or say he trash or nothing like that. I'm going to trust you.
Yeah, I like to do this too, and I saw that those funny scoring on those games. And I'm a agree with Thomas.
Damn.
But
damn,
I'm gonna take Houston with the plus 1.5.
He's gonna fall for it. He's taking the one that looks too good to be true. So D-Free goes against me, and he's taking Houston plus 1.5. It's not a bad pick. I mean, to me, that's supposed to be the pick. And being that it's supposed to be the pick, I'm going opposite. That's why I'm taking Jacksonville. That's my only explanation. It's a dumb one, but it works. Sometimes it works. So I'm actually going with a dumb pick. I'm taking a pick that doesn't look good. I'm going opposite of what looks really good, And the Eagles is the other one. The Eagles look too good to be true, minus 3.5 against Buffalo. I mean, Buffalo's still fighting for something too, but being that the Phillies at home, I just think that spread should be at least 6. But I don't make the odds. I don't make the lines. So that should be interesting, that game. And that's it.
I think it's Thanksgiving, and Vegas is trying to give back to the people.
Well, we'll see, because I'm interested to see how many people bet on Houston and if they cover. That's what I'm interested in. And I'm also interested in the Titans covering, because I think I'm taking the Titans in my survivor pool. It's either them or the Vikings. I'm not sure who I'm going with.
Yep.
It's 8 people left in the survivor pool, so I'm still trying.
You said you're taking who?
It's either the Titans or the Vikings who I'm going with.
If I was you, I would take the Titans. This probably gonna be the last week that you could take the Titans.
Touchdown. David Rosales says touchdown plus favorites on Thanksgiving are 17-6 against the spread. Wow. So that means I'm gonna lose with Dallas. Dallas is gonna cover. That's what you're saying.
I don't think Dallas is going to cover. I think Dallas.
San Francisco's only favored 6.5.
I think Dallas is going to lose outright. Even though I picked Dallas to win, I hope that it goes against my pick because I'm a bet on every player on Dallas in the parlay. That usually causes me to lose my parlay.
Did Dallas lose last year, Thanksgiving Day?
No, they won. They won last year. The year before that, they lost.
They lost to the Raiders. I think.
Hey, be free. That's some real fan shit right there, my guy. You putting your money on the line for your team. Matter of fact, you willing to lose money for your team to win. That's some real fan shit, my nigga.
Exactly. Hey, because every time I do it, it always works out like that. I'm like, God damn, I knew I should have went the other way.
You see that, David? David Rosario, 67% of the public is on Houston. That's what I'm saying. It looks too good to be true. And when the majority is on it, the majority can't win unless they're going to crack Vegas. Vegas hardly ever gets cracked. It happens. That's why I said.
Not only that, I mean, is CJ Stroud maybe getting a little bit too big for his britches? Is the MVP talk going to his head? Because he's just coming off a 3
interception game, yeah. And he
led him to the win, but still.
They got shut out.
Is he going to keep is he going to be able to hold this level of play? I don't think so, bro. I think the Jacksonville game is going to be a real that's not a welcome to the NFL moment, but it's going to be a piece of humble pie. I think so.
Maybe I wouldn't say. I would say more of like a first taste of like a playoff type atmosphere game, because the division is kind of on the line in this game. And but yeah, you're right. I mean, they got 3 interceptions and they did not score the entire second half, I believe. So something to look forward to.
But the game is at home.
The game is at Houston. That's what I'm saying. It's just weird that I think they should be favored 1.5, not getting a point.
Now Jeremy Tunsil might not play, and that's a big.
Okay, I did not know. I didn't look at that injury.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I didn't look at that.
Did anybody peep on ESPN on McAfee's show? J.J. Watt working out apparently with the Texans.
Who?
J.J. Watt.
No, he ain't coming back. I think he's done.
He was saying he apparently he had a workout with the Texans.
Really?
So, yeah.
So wow. What is his status? Retired?
I don't know.
Because he's under contract. Wasn't in contract on Arizona?
I don't know, but on the McAfee show, he said, "I have fresh legs." So.
Man, that's some whole shit. You leave them when they down and come back now when they up. That's some whole shit. I don't like that.
I agree. I always thought he was overrated anyway. JJ Watt.
Yeah, Sock is not a JJ.
Well, I ain't gonna say that, but this is some whole shit.
We've been having this argument for years. He is not. He's not a JJ Watt fan.
Mike Trout of football.
Oh, and then and we've had that argument too. Sock doesn't like the white athlete.
It's not true. I fuck with hockey.
You have a lot of white friends, but when it comes to
fuck with hockey,
when it comes to the athletes, you don't mess with the white athlete. You don't like Trout. You say Trout is overrated.
Bryce Harper is my favorite.
How you gonna say Trout and JJ Watt is overrated?
He says JJ Watt's overrated and Mike Trout. But he does like Bryce Harper. You're right. You did call Bryce Harper.
JJ not overrated.
But I'm just telling you, this is Sock. This is Sock.
This is me.
The man had almost like 80 sacks in 4 seasons. What are you talking about, Sock?
I've seen his teams give up 30 points. So when they start talking about Lawrence Taylor and Reggie White, that's when I say pump the brakes. Okay, he's good for now. He's not even in the top 10. Get out of here. Lawrence Taylor.
Far as defensive end?
Yeah, it's not even close to Lawrence Taylor. Thank you, Dave. That's what happens when you go 40, when you actually see real players.
I mean, anytime I'm a
Marky Dan's old too.
I'm gonna put it like this: anytime a defensive end get 20 sacks, He ain't overrated.
He's not on Lawrence Taylor's level. He's not Reggie White.
I'm not saying he's on Lawrence Taylor's
I'm
level,
He's not Bruce
but I'm
Smith.
not gonna say he's overrated. That man got 20 sacks. It's hard to get 20 sacks. Shit, half the people in the league don't even get 10. This man doubled that.
I think he's overrated.
in multiple seasons.
Right, I'm about to say he did that multiple times.
He also
That man
played a lot of good players too.
I think before he got injured, the last few years before he got injured, he was averaging like 15, 16 sacks a season.
And D Free, he's doing this in an era where you can't touch the quarterback.
Like I said, I've seen playoff games. His team give up 30 points.
Yeah, the team gave up 30 points. That doesn't mean that's on him.
Of course it is.
You're talking about that Chiefs game where they were up like 20 something, and then the Chiefs came back and beat them 50-20 something. Come on, bro. That's Pat Mahomes with Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. Come on.
They want to put him on an all-time great level. I just can't do it. I'm sorry.
I respect that. I can't argue with you on that. That's you. That's your opinion.
I'm not saying
my laptop is about to die. That's why I switched. So
yeah, I'm not saying he's all-time great, but he ain't overrated.
I will call him an all-time great. Shit. Motherfucker get 80 over 80 sacks in 4 seasons. Shit.
Who do you think is a better player?
I wouldn't put him on Lawrence Taylor. I wouldn't put him on Lawrence Taylor level anyway because Lawrence Taylor was a linebacker. He was an outside linebacker. I wouldn't put him on his level anyway.
Who do you start a team with? Are Aaron Donald or him?
Aaron Donald.
Huh?
Aaron Donald. It's not even a thought because Aaron Donald covers the interior as well. And you could put him on. You could put him on the edge.
I agree.
You said who's better?
But shit. If I had the number 2 pick, I'd take J.J. Watt immediately if I'm building a defense.
I take J.J. Watt over Aaron Donald. I'll take J.J.
Why you say that, Free?
Because Aaron Donald, he doesn't average double-digit sacks.
But he's
yeah, you do, D Free.
When you coming off the end, I need double-digit sacks coming off the end. Like Aaron Donald, I can get some players to play on the inside. I can get players like daggone Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen. I can get players like that to play the inside. There's not a lot of players that play like J.J. Watt on the outside. There's not a lot of them.
Excuse me.
But the thing is, D Free, Aaron Donald is elite from coming off the edge or from the interior. I think he's had a couple 20-sack seasons, bro. Like Aaron Donald ain't nothing to play with on the interior.
I don't think he's got. I don't think he hit 20.
No, he never hit.
Hold on,
20.
let me look this up because I was looking at his stats the other day.
He never hit 20. He might have hit. He might have hit 15 or might have hit 13 or something like that.
He had 20 and a half sacks in 2018.
He won at least one defensive player of the year, right?
Yeah.
Damn, and he had 25 tackle for losses.
Mm-hmm.
He probably got like 8 of them versus fucking Russell Wilson.
Yeah, he might got 20, 25 tackles for losses, but I don't know about no 20 sacks. I've never heard Aaron Donald get 20
No,
sacks.
it was the 2018 season, D Free.
He used to kill Russell Wilson.
2018, he got 20 sacks?
Yeah, 20 and a half.
I ain't never heard him get 20. But if you say that's what it says, okay.
Yeah, man, Aaron Donald's a beast.
He's a beast, but what has he done this year?
Y'all pulled up the stats? I didn't pull it up yet.
He ain't did shit.
He's older.
I ain't gonna argue with you on that.
Exactly.
But JJ wasn't doing shit either, D Free.
What year that JJ Watt was playing that you heard that he ain't did shit?
I have another player. Von Miller or JJ Watt?
I'll take JJ Watt.
I give me Von Miller any day.
A healthy Von Miller.
What has Von Miller done in the last couple of years?
Who's played better in bigger games?
Yeah, Von Miller in big spots in big games.
Von Miller was fortunate enough to play on better teams. He was fortunate enough to play on better teams. That has nothing to do with the actual player.
I think Von Miller is a better big game player. I think he's a better player.
He says JJ over Von. He been to the Super Bowl how many times, Von Miller? 3 times? Twice with the Broncos and once with once
with the Broncos.
He won twice with the Broncos. They lost with him and they won with him.
Right.
And
they beat the Panthers.
Yeah, and then they lost with the to the Seahawks.
Yeah, he only got one ring.
He was on the Rams. Didn't somebody sign him to like a year? And
No.
You sure? Who was the team he was with before Buffalo?
He was with was it
the Rams.
Chicago?
He was with the Rams. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He won with the Rams. I'm almost positive. Yep.
Was it the year before last
when the Rams won the Super Bowl?
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah, but he's been to the Super Bowl 3 times.
That's even more of a reason why he was fortunate to be on good teams because he ain't do nothing that year, nothing at all.
But in the playoffs, he played well with the Rams though.
Oh, yeah, right. When the Rams,
that's what. Yeah, he's just saying in the playoff game. Yeah,
and they also had Sue.
Yeah, they had Sue. Yep.
I still take JJ Watt because the Super Bowl is a team achievement. I still take JJ Watt when it comes down to actual stats. Von Miller's stats doesn't even amount to JJ Watt's stats.
He did. I mean, David Rosati, he killed in the playoffs. He did.
And Von Miller,
Watts hasn't. He's been on bad teams.
Von Miller played longer than JJ Watt, and his stats still don't add up to JJ Watt.
Yeah, I mean, he's been forced to play on good teams.
The Jaguars and the Titans, a lot of crappy divisions.
Yeah, you're such a hater, though, man. I just know the hatred when I see it. Like when it goes,
I can't argue the man numbers. I mean, I can't argue the man numbers. I'm just going by his numbers. His numbers is his numbers. I can't argue that.
Man, D-Free, you don't know who Aaron Donald is, man. You didn't watch that Super Bowl when he sealed the game and he sacked Joe Burrow. Ended that shit right then and there.
I understand he sacked Joe Burrow. I was clowning Case Avoid. We watched that on live. I was clowning Case Avoid the whole playoffs. But my thing is, does Aaron Donald's stats equals up to JJ Watt's stats?
No.
No. Does Von
no.
Miller's stats equal up to JJ Watt?
JJ Watt?
No.
No, and Von Miller played much longer than JJ Watt.
But D-Free, do numbers always tell the story in football, or does impact tell the story?
Exactly. What I'm talking about is, far as a person is coming off the edge, causing havoc, coming off the edge. I'm looking at this man's stat. This man's been putting up numbers consistently every year since he's been in the league. This man's been consistently causing havoc off the corner.
But because they he's played on bad teams, just like Trout played on bad Angel teams that made the playoffs. No, they're not. I'm just saying this is the sock method though, because he doesn't like Trout and he doesn't like JJ because they played on bad teams.
But I mean, like I said,
numbers are the numbers.
It's not his fault that he got drafted by a bad team. That he got drafted
big time
because the team was bad.
Player. Back in the day, Charles Haley. Charles Haley was a difference
maker. If JJ Watt was a daggone Raider, he would be all on JJ Watt.
Not really.
Yes, you would. You're lying.
He's not better than that guy.
So you don't hold up. So you don't like Cosby? Long. You don't like Cosby?
Well, Howie Long, yeah, of course.
Not
better than Howie Long.
Oh, Mad Max, he's a killer.
Come on, Sock. Don't let me tell him about Romanowski. You hated Romanowski. But when he wore the Raider uniform, you loved him.
Romanowski should be a Hall of Famer.
Do you like Crosby?
He's a stud.
So JJ Watt was better than him.
I don't think so.
Me if he was a Raider, you wouldn't like him?
I don't think so. Because I think Max plays the run better than him. And Max Crosby never played with another player as good as
I'm not going to argue your opinion. If you feel like he played the run better, that's your opinion. But when it comes down to what his job is to get after that quarterback. He does it better than anybody that we name. He does it better than anybody we name.
Yeah, but Crosby, at least Crosby doesn't play with another like Pro Bowl guy in the line.
Who did J.J. Watt play with?
Watt has played with
Merciless.
talent.
Merciless was tremendous.
Yeah.
Who?
Merciless. Brian Cushing. Steroid man. From Jersey.
Steroid Cushing, yeah.
From Jersey. Don Bosco Prep.
No.
They always said he was on the road.
Those guys
Bro,
you named,
this motherfucker J.J. Watt had 39 tackle for losses in one season. That's the NFL record.
I already know what J.J. Watt did. I've been watching J.J. Watt since he came in the league. This man was a monster. He was a monster.
So that you can't even say that shit, Socrates.
He was a monster.
Listen,
that man is a monster. That's what I'm saying. These guys that y'all naming, yeah, they was good, but they was not on the level of J.J. Watt. They good. They're not on the level of J.J. Watt. Oh, this man was getting double and triple team. He was still getting to the quarterback
at all. I'm sorry.
No, I done seen this man. I done seen this man get double and triple team, and he still get to the quarterback.
But Aaron Donald played with another good defensive line a bunch of times too.
He played with Leonard Floyd.
Quinn was really good too.
He played with Leonard Floyd, Vaughn Williams. Hey, come on, man.
Von Miller.
He played with some.
Vaughn Miller, not Vaughn Williams.
He played with Von Miller.
But Quinn, he played with Quinn for years, and Quinn was pretty good.
He did too. Yep.
Penn State.
No, all I'm saying is J.J. Watt is good. I can't like J.J. Watt is a player.
No doubt about it.
He's a player that every team wish they had one of him. Every team wish they had J.J. Watt. To be honest with you, I mean his brother is pretty good, but that's the reason why his brother got drafted was because of J.J. They drafted him because of J.J.
And he also played. That kid Highsmith helps him a lot.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, the main reason why they drafted because they said his brother got to be close to being somewhat like him. If he's that damn good, his brother got to be similar to that.
Yeah,
he's solid.
He's not better. He's more than goddamn solid.
His brother's pretty good. His brother pretty good. His brother, he's not JJ, but he's pretty good. He's not JJ, but he does get to the.
I think his brother has had a couple 20-sack seasons.
No,
JJ. I don't know if he did. TJ, I don't know. I haven't caught. I
know for sure he's had at least one. No, that's when he won Defensive Player of the Year.
He's always getting hurt. I'll look up his stats now. He's always getting hurt.
TJ as much as I follow JJ.
TJ always gets
hurt. Yeah. He tied the NFL record for sacks with 22.5 in 2021.
Who, TJ?
Yeah, that family is just cold. They got some different type of genetics, bro. I don't know.
It's like the Bosa's brothers. Now, the younger one is not as good as Nick, but he's still good.
Yeah, but
he's still a $15-20 million type of player.
Yeah, he is.
Been inconsistent. Forgot about JJ catching touchdowns.
That's the part that is fucking bullshit touchdowns.
You a hater.
Bullshit. That's the part that I really hate about it. Cloud chasing gimmick plays.
Hey, what I will tell you, ain't
playoffs.
No, ain't none of those players that you named did that.
No. You know what? He'll be in the Hall of Fame. He'll have a yellow jacket.
Man, J.J. Watt do everything.
He'll have his day to retire his number in Houston, but he's no LT.
Well, there's only one LT though, man. I mean,
that's right.
David said, "Surprise, Free didn't say that." Yeah, so that was a good assist.
To be honest with you, I forgot all about it. I forgot all about that
gimmick bullshit.
Yo, David, you better watch yourself tomorrow. Soccer's gonna lay you out tomorrow. He's gonna blindside it.
Nah. Nah, man.
There's certain players. It's just funny. If he was on the Raiders, you would like him, man. There's no doubt about it.
I know he would.
It depends.
There's no doubt about it. Because you hated Romanowski, but the minute he put on the Raider uniform, you love RoboCop. RoboCop. That's what
I'm gonna give you two players that should be in the Hall of Fame. Romanowski's one of them. And James Harrison.
I think he was on the roids though, but whatever.
I'm sure he was. A lot of guys were on the roids. It was the 80s, 90s. I mean, you know.
And who's
a dude who I didn't know wasn't
James
in the
Harrison.
Hall of Fame?
Hold on, say it
Mike
again.
Allstott. Oh, go ahead.
No, because he said two guys. I don't know who the other guy was.
James Harrison
Yeah.
from the Steelers.
I think eventually he'll be in the Hall of Fame.
he should be a Hall of Famer.
James Harrison?
Wow.
I think eventually he will be.
Matter of fact, James Harrison was a final this year. He was either a finalist
Is he
or
eligible already?
quarterfinal. Because we were just talking about that on T channel before the season started.
It's just the Hall of Fame is bullshit because certain guys got to take forever. You know, Strahan got in because he was on TV and stuff. Strahan should have made.
Strahan's a great player.
He is, but he should have made the Hall of Fame that fast.
Yeah, because
similar stats that had to wait.
I think playing in New York too helps.
Yeah, that's the thing. But he's got similar stats as other guys that are in the Hall of Fame that had to wait years. And I brought
it took
Chris Dolman.
It took Art Monk like 20 years to make the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, wide receivers too got to wait a long time. But defensively, Chris Dolman has almost similar stats as Strahan. Minus
you know a guy who wasn't a first ballot Hall of Famer?
2 years.
Marvin Harrison wasn't a first ballot Hall of Famer. He had to wait 3 years. It goes back to what you were saying about dudes with quiet personalities or dudes who are not in the media that much.
But
he also
just forget about
into that shit.
Also, Marvin Harrison, but the thing is, Marvin Harrison, it took him 3 years because of that whole allegation of that murder.
Yeah, that's
right. Oh, well, I don't know. Okay, all right.
Yeah, the only that whole allegation with that murder, they held off for putting it in the Hall of Fame because it was going to be a bad look on the NFL.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that shit. All right.
Say that again, Sock.
Only Ray Lewis could get the pass for for not
Ray Lewis ain't do nothing.
He ain't snitch. He know who.
Man, Ray Lewis was just there. That's all he was. Bro. Come on,
okay. He was a victim of being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Mm-hmm.
Sock is you're ruthless. Who was you gonna say, Marky Dan, about Mike Allstott?
I agree, David. I agree, 100%.
I was just saying. I found out the other day. Mike Allstott is not in the Hall of Fame. That fullback who was with the Buccaneers, he was crazy though. And he was probably one of the last real power rushing fullbacks that was in the league. And he was a key part of what the Bucs did winning that Super Bowl.
But he got to be a lead back for like 2 years. And he wasn't.
That was surprising. I didn't know that he wasn't in the Hall of Fame. I thought he had been made it. I didn't know that.
I don't think so.
Yeah, fullbacks is tough for fullbacks to make it. He was a lead back for like 1 or 2 years after.
Yeah, he was.
Dunn was gone.
They better not put that. What's his name on the 49ers? What's the name of the fullback?
Tom Rathman.
Rathman.
No. Who's currently on the 49ers right now? I can't remember his name, but he got like 6 or 7 Pro Bowls already because there's just no other fullbacks in the league. They better not put his ass in the Hall of Fame before Mike Allstott. That's all I know.
Oh no, he's not going to get put in before Mike Allstott. He might. I don't even think he's going to make it. But he's definitely not going to get in before Mike Allstott
anymore. The Pro Bowl doesn't even count.
Yeah, the Pro Bowl is it's a gimmick.
Yeah, it's been watered down.
It's just a way for them.
Mike Allstott made the Pro Bowl a lot of times. Mike Allstott made the Pro Bowl a lot of years.
Yeah, fullback, because it's not many fullbacks anymore.
Yeah, he made a Pro Bowl. I think he made it like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah,
I think he played 9 years in the league, or 9 or 10 years in the league, and made it 6.
You stole the words out of my mouth. Tony Richardson, yes.
Tony Richardson was a good fullback. Seattle had a good fullback for some time, Max Strong.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
hey, but Thomas, man, it was cool chopping it up with you and the boys, man. I'm going to catch you next time. I got to go, bro.
All right, no doubt, man. Thanks for coming through. Today was good. With Strictly Football. We spoke about some old stuff. We recapped the season. We picked our MVP. I thought today was a good show. I thank you guys. This was good.
I know your daggone Eagles better win Sunday.
D-Free, this is what we should
do.
Man,
I ain't worried about that shit, bro.
We should recap.
That's already a dub.
and do our picks. Like I think that's what we should do. Just to talk a little bit about the games a little bit more. But I'm down to do this again next week if you guys want. We'll just stick to football. Maybe we try to cut it shorter. I went longer than what I really wanted to, but I thought this was good.
What you need to
everybody
do,
was on point today. Everybody knew the stats without even looking. I wrote some stuff down. I cheated, but we everybody was pretty good today. Today was good. I'm proud of everybody.
Yeah, this would be a cool show after D-Freeze show on Tuesday. It's a cool schedule that y'all could build up.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you this now, Thomas. What y'all need to do is make DK y'all tight end.
They're not gonna do that. He doesn't have the IQ to play receiver. And we're gonna put him at tight end. He's ridiculous. Catching with
DK, he be killing people in the run game. He be blocking motherfuckers out of bounds.
That's why I said they need to make him a tight end.
Yeah.
I think he'll be better at a tight end than he is as a receiver. Like he's good as a receiver, but I think he'll be a lot better as a tight end because now he's being matched up with a safety or a linebacker that can't keep up with him.
He needs to hurt some players in the Niners tomorrow. How about that?
I don't know if that's going to happen.
We'll see what happens. I think the game will be close, at least in the first half. We'll see.
You want it to be close?
Well, it's division. It'll be close. Stop your shit. Anyway, anybody else got anything? I'm tired of you guys, man.
Nah.
After I just said you guys did great, you're going to make me upset.
All right, Thomas.
All right, guys. Sock, you got anything?
Got nothing right now.
All right, no more JJ Watt hating, all right?
No. I'll be in Canton when he gets inducted.
I appreciate everybody that came through. Dave Rosario, thanks for coming through. If you always ever want to come on, I could drop the link for you too. I think I got to drop it on Facebook. I drop it in the chat and YouTube. You can always come up and talk football too or whatever, boxing, whatever we do. I always drop the link for people to come on. This is an open panel for us to talk and do our thing. So A1 Hoops, good looks for coming through. We're about to end the show, but thanks for coming through, bro. Hit the like button. Well, yeah, man, that's all I got. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you tomorrow, David. We're going to play football tomorrow, Turkey Bowl. D-Free, you playing Turkey Bowl tomorrow?
Y'all. I'm going to watch my Commanders beat up on these Cowboys tomorrow, hopefully.
You playing football tomorrow in the morning?
Yeah, I'm playing football. I'm cooking all my food now. So I'll be done probably like around 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'm going to play football at 11. And I should be done. I'm probably going to miss the first game. I wanted to catch the first game, but my kids called me and asked me was I going to play. So I'm going to go play with them. And I'm going to miss the first game, but I'll be back to watch Washington and Dallas.
All right. Well, I'm going to go play tomorrow. Hopefully I don't throw too many interceptions. And we'll see how that turns out. Sock will tell you the truth. Don't worry about it. I won't cap. So, and as my wife just looks at me because she don't want me to go play, I'm gonna end the show, guys. But thanks for coming through.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
All right.
All right, peace, man.
Everybody, TWT, TD Sports Talk. We out.